how to fight in the corner, how to manage side kicks, how to stop side kicks, how to counter the opponent block, some tricky combo to score more points. Those are just few topics that you are going to face in this video. And thanks to those two high-level fighters, we are going to learn some Taekwondo notions that are very valuable and that can be applied in every single match. So if you want to improve your Taekwondo skills, watch the full video. Let's start by how to start on the SIJACK. At low level, most fighters are scared to start on the SIJACK, but it's an easy way to take points if you don't have a sort of fear. Most people start with a side or roundhouse kick, but this red is crazy. And this plan is to blow the opponent mind. Use the side kick as a tool to close the distance and strike a punch. The problem is that he used the left punch with the judges on the right side, so it was hard to judges to watch it. Then, when the arm hit the opponent armor, he bent it, and by rules your arm must be flexed to be counted as a point. At this level, you can't defocus on the first seconds, and you are ready to block a side kick or a high kick. Indeed, the blue blocked it, but the red plan was not to score with the side kick, but to strike a punch, and the blue wasn't ready for it. In my opinion, if you want to start as a first to score points in your lower belt fights, you can perform a skipping side kick if you are too far, but if you watch my previous video, you already know that I don't advise it. So you have to first close the distance, then use the cut kick or modern side kick. Instead, if you want to surprise your opponent, you can strike an axe kick, that is a safe kick, or use a step spinning kick or a tornado kick like Aaron Cook. If you want to earn more points, you have to press the opponent in the corner, because if we study this Korean behavior, when he's in the center, he mainly dodge kicks or counter, but when he's in the corner, he mainly block kicks or counter kicks. This means that you can push for high kick when your opponent is in the corner. The blue was able to pressure the red in the corner, and of course this is the perfect moment where we can earn some advantage, because the red probably won't dodge our kicks, and we can fake a side kick but aim for the helmet. If you want to emulate this action in your fights, you can prepare this action by pushing the opponent in the corner with some side kicks, and when you reach this spot, you have to unleash your high kick combos. So I advise multiple crescent kicks or multiple high roundhouse kick. Or if you want to try some tricky kicks to surprise your opponent, you can perform spinning kicks. This mind-blowing action can be easy to understand. The red was able to read the blue's rhythm, so he prepared a combo of a side kick that block the opponent's leg, and that kick will match a punch. So he prepared a combination of a side kick plus a punch. The first kick has the goal to block the opponent's leg, and the punch has the goal to score points. He did a perfect leg block, he was able to unbalance the opponent, but in the moment that he was going to strike the punch, the blue performed a natural back kick from a weird stance. Common humans probably are not capable to emulate this blue counter, and in my opinion, in this action we can watch the blue effort to work on weird stance. Because this is not the first time that he strikes this sort of kicks, and guys, this reaction is so natural that we can watch all the years and the dedication that he put in the sport. And it's not something that you can easily achieve. Of course you can train it, but it's not easy as it seems. The only thing that you have to learn from this action is the red combo, in my opinion. If you want to put the same effort to achieve the same blue results, I don't advise it, because it's not worth your time in this moment of your life. Because by training your donjan, you can easily learn to block your opponent's side kick, and you'll have much more chance to use this combination in a real sparring fight. And try to not strike too hard on your opponent's leg, because you can easily harm your friend in training. Trust me, this is a technique that you have to steal, so if your opponent has the habit to stop your kicks with the legs, or he has the habit to use cut kick, you have to learn to counter your opponent by just blocking his leg. From this stance we can take out a lot of combos, we can use our first block as a momentum to strike the second kick, or we can use it to perform a punch, or we can even use a double kick or a spinning kick. But if you want to learn a technique that you can apply in every single match, this is what you have to learn. The red secret technique that you are going to watch in every single match. The closed roundhouse kick. This is an easy technique, is evergreen, and if you watch some of his matches, is going to apply in every single match. Trust me, you can learn it in a day and you can start to take point very easily. How can we perform this? You have to first close the distance with the side kick, and once you are close, stretch your arms, then create some space and strike a roundhouse kick to the opponent armor. To score this kick, you need to push a little bit your hip out, or you won't be able to achieve this spot. Remember that you have a magnet not only on the front side of your foot, so you do not need a perfect kick. because magnets are positioned also on the side of your foot. And as a last, you can also score on the back of the armor. Do not find an hole on the side, you can aim for the back. Now we can understand how to fight in the second round. On the start of the second round, we already know how to fight, and we have a better insights against our opponent and what can help us to score more points. So the red didn't change his strategy, and he was able to find a spot on the blue armor, but this kick wasn't enough powerful. That's also a problem of this type of kick. In general, your coach should tell you how to fight in the second and third round, so try to follow his advice. Once you learn the opponent read, you can use some tricky kicks like the jumping block spinning kick. The blue prepared another counter kick, a lot similar to the previous red action, so he waited that the red start his cut kick. But the difference is that the blue used his first leg not only as a jumping support, but he used it to block the opponent's side kick, and then he performed a spinning kick. The roundhouse kick, on the other hand, it's used only in a few situations, when both are close enough or in a close range situation. In all other cases, the openings are always feints or side kicks. And to perform an effective roundhouse kick, we have first to break our patterns, or our opponent will have some easy times to counter our blues. We can see a good strategy for scoring points with the opponent in the corner. The blue builds up a side attack pattern with the 2 cut kicks. When the opponent is pushed into a corner, the chance of escapes are minimal. We can just go on the sideways, or we have to close the distance. The red is mentally ready to block a cut kick, but not an high kick. If we look at the ends, they are lower compared to the opponent kick, because he was ready to block a middle kick. The blue was able to break his pattern. Instead than a high kick, he used a snake kick, which confused even more his opponent. But the red at this level was able to dodge it. Trust me, if you're going to emulate this same action, you will easily score 3 points, no matter what. And I was able to spot a small mistake in this case, because after placing the foot down, he stops. When in reality, you should continue your action, because you have the chance to score roundhouse kicks, or you have the chance to score cut kick, or you have the chance to press your opponent in the corner and increase your advantage. So probably you are questioning how to score with the roundhouse kick. What really matters for the roundhouse kick is the distance, so you first have to learn what's the best distance to score this kick. In case you are too far, you need a small step or a long step to strike this kick. And when you are close, about half a meter, you can open with a roundhouse kick. From a further distance, your opponent can easily counter with a spinning kick. Instead, from a shorter distance, this kick is very effective and is hard to block. If you're questioning how he was able to score this kick, as I told you already, the magnets are also present on the side of the sock, making it possible to score points with the side of the foot as well. The blue also opened with the high roundhouse kick, but unlike the red, it didn't judge the distance well, and that's up a few centimeters from the opponent face. If he had calculated better his distance with a small step, this would have been an easy 3 points. We are now in the final rush. The red must win this round to compete in the last one, and the red is some points behind. As you can watch, you can take out some expected and easy points in the worst situation with this roundhouse kick. Now we are in the reverse situation, and pay close attention. The blue score on the side of the chest guard in a particular way, not with the sole but with the heel of the foot, because we have magnets also on the heel, and when you strike with your heel, it's easier to strike and there are points because you are going to strike on a smaller spot. So if you want to score points with your side kick, you have to strike with the heel. Instead, if you want to harass your opponent, if you want to block your opponent, you have to use your sole. And trust me, that point was not accidental. It was achieved with the opponent in the corner. When the opponent couldn't dodge his kick properly, he wasn't able to block it properly, and the red has the habit to block kicks when he's in the corner. So he was able to find a spot on the side of the arm. In the last seconds, the reds make one last desperate move with the very basic mistakes. He walks toward the opponent without any type of defense or attack. This movement is very dangerous, and I do not advise you to emulate. Just do not walk when you are at the tatami. Try to move even with a feint or with a strike, or just don't move, because you can easily lose your teeth if you walk like him in a real fight, or in a sparring or in a Taekwondo fight. If you want to support this channel, click the join button. Instead, if you want to watch another similar video, click the video in the center of the screen.